Hey y'all, let's finally wrap up this Ready to Love Fort Worth foolishness, okay? First of all, welcome back to the Brenda Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brenda Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. This video, of course, we are talking Ready to Love Season 9 Fort Worth Reunion Part 2. It's Friday night. We gotta talk about our own shows. This is the finale. Thank God. This is the last episode of Fort Worth. Thank you, God. Okay. I did go live last week for the reunion, as I think I did state in the live. I probably wouldn't have time to do it this week. Got a wedding to attend tomorrow. My sister would literally be here in probably 30 minutes. So I gotta hurry up and get this review done. Okay. And I had to clean my house. Y'all know how that go. Okay. You got people coming, you gotta get it together. Okay. Anyway. And I still don't even know what I'm wearing tomorrow. All I did was wash my wig and put it back on. It ain't even back all the way on. Okay, I'm in process right now, y'all. So bear with your girl. Also, please do not hesitate to like this video, share it where you like to share your content, comment down below, and subscribe, y'all. I think we're like 7 subs from 500, y'all. So like, let's get there by the end of April. If you want to give me a birthday present, my birthday is literally 2 weeks from today, April 26th. You can hit that subscribe button and say happy birthday. But the subscribe will be the birthday present, okay? Anyway, let's get into this reunion. So, Nephew Tommy makes it a good old announcement that Alexis left. She is gone. Nephew Tommy said, y'all went through a lot to do this process. So, you don't want to rob yourself. Do y'all want to continue? They say, okay, let's continue. Of course, we're going to continue, right? So we switch gears and we do the segment about Lamar, Nasty Lamar, and the way he spoke. They show his segment. So Nephew Thomas like, you don't think, there's another approach you could take to this? Like, you don't think you can come at the ladies another way? Excuse me. You don't think it's a little aggressive based? And so he's like, I could see I was a little aggressive. I could see I was doing a little bit much. I could see it. And so he was like, but I feel like, you ain't gonna get one, you're not gonna get another chance, to talk to somebody. You gotta make a good impression the first time. You gotta say what you gotta say the first time. They was like, well, you definitely not about to get another conversation. That's what Patrice and Meika said. And so backstage, William is like, you only miss all the shots you don't take, something like that. He was saying, they was like, but this approach is not working for him. He's like, I ain't gonna judge, his method of how he do things. We judging it though, William. Sorry to tell you, we judging it over here. It's too much. It's disgusting. He said, Nephew Tommy's like, you don't think you could try to have a different kind of conversation, like do something different? And he was like, nah, like I'm tired of talking about the regular old stuff. It's boring. I want to switch it up. I want some excitement. And then he talked about the whole skinny dipping thing. And he said, it's not about going skinny dipping per se. It's about like, would you follow me in doing that? The ladies felt like that was inappropriate, and it was. Now, what's her name? Was Sheena backstage was saying like, she get it, we all grown, but no, we not doing that the first time. Sheena was low key interested, a little bit, just not the first time for her. So he said, for him, he's not gonna switch up who he is. He is who he is. But he kind of seen how he could do better, but not really. And my thing is, he did make the ladies feel very uncomfortable. And I was like, okay, so this was a waste for me because we didn't even hold him accountable for making the ladies feel very uncomfortable. And so I think every time he asked Patrice something, and so she said, first of all, like, that was crazy. Like, he didn't even talk to me like that. But I was like, yeah, he did. When it was doing that painting thing, he was talking to her crazy like that. So I don't know how Patrice didn't see that he was talking to her crazy, but okay, girl. Anyway, Patrice's mind is Patrice's mind is Patrice's mind. So she was like, yeah, you want to talk to, people like that, you talk to the women on whatever that street is in Dallas. I'm sure the Dallas people know the pro is the whole stroll row, okay? The prostitute row, okay? We got a street here, stop that. I ain't gonna name it, but everybody got that street. What was it, Hendrix Way or something like that? Y'all drop it in the comments. I forgot the name of the street, and I don't live in Dallas, so it don't really matter to me. Anyway, moving forward. Then we do Johnathan's package, right? Oh, Nephew Tommy made a joke with April, like he sounded a little better now. She was like, no chance, Tommy, no chance. He was just joking though. Nephew Tommy also checked on Glenn at one point. Glenn was back there talking to Kosheia. found out that, you know, he went to a boarding school. Her cousin went to the same boarding school named Shamika or Tamika. I think it was Shamika. And turns out Shamika and Glenn dated in high school at the boarding school. So then, you know, for that ended it for Kosheia. I don't know why that would end it, girl. High school was quite a bit a long time ago, but okay, girl. Anywho, we also saw Glenn back there talking to Laylin, and she was asking him about being a teacher, what he likes about it, what he don't like about it. He said he likes the kids. What he don't like about it is the kids. I was like, I feel you, Glenn, because I'm a teacher. I don't like the paperwork, but that's because I have to do IEP, so I have more paperwork than like a regular teacher does. Anywho, I was like, can we let Glenn go? Because they had Glenn doing that confessional. And he's sitting down there telling me, oh, I never been here before doing a confessional. I never did this. He just looks so awkward. I was like, can we release him of his contract and send him home, please? Please free Glenn. Free him. And then every time I go out the nerd to ask him later on, did he have some dates with people and connect with people? Lord, let it go, Tommy. Like, he stretched that joke out way too long for me. Anyway, moving on, we didn't. I just wanted to get the Glenn stuff out the way so I didn't forget. So then we talked to Johnathan and, you know, how he was kind of closed off. He didn't want to open up, and we showed his package as well as the thing with Alexis. I'm glad we did touch on that because y'all know that was one of my concerns from last week, right? So he said that, yeah, he was closed off. It takes a lot for him to open up, and he took accountability for that. He said it's hard for him to get in that space, and when he finally does, his emotions can go kind of everywhere, up and down and all over. So, you know, he kind of got to rework that muscle. I think maybe there's some pain still from his marriage or something, and it's just hard for him to open up now. Like, I think it sounds like to me he may have some things he needs to work through, right? I think Nephew Tommy then asked Meika, you know, do you think Johnathan would have went further along in the process if he would have been more open? And she was like, yeah, you know, it's possible. Like, she brought up the whole thing of how she called his ex baby mama and she didn't know that that was his wife. And so Jonathan's thing is like, well, you're the one that said it, and I had said it to other ladies, so I don't know how you didn't know. She's like, well, I didn't, you know, hear it or know it. And then she's like, but why didn't you correct me when I said baby mama? You could have said right then that was your wife. And so Nephew Tommy was like, why you didn't say it? And so he was like, well, she wanted to run with the narrative baby mama, so I'll just let her go with it. I think he was trying to like put egg in her face, like, oh, you think I got a baby mama? No, it's a wife. But really, you played yourself, because if somebody says, like, you know, some people look down on the terms baby mama, baby daddy, and all that. They try to say, you know, say it in a better way, the mother of my children, the father of my children, which I'm all for. But if somebody said, oh, do you double back to your baby mama? I'd be like, well, actually, that's my ex-wife. Like, you would naturally say that. So, Johnathan. So he was like, you're right. You know, maybe I could have said it. And so then, you know, Nephew Tommy asked him about the thing with Alexis, like what made you, you know, step outside of your character and do that, because he does seem like a more laid back, quiet guy. Like, he wouldn't do anything like that. And so he did say, you know what, the party was kind of boring. Like, it was cool, but, you know, he wanted to jazz it up and do something. And he had been drinking quite a bit. And so he did that. And then in his head, he thought it was good. But then in the moment when he realized he probably embarrassed her and himself, and he did, he said he apologized to her multiple times on camera and off camera. And, you know, he's like, you know, Tommy, I shouldn't have done it. It was a bonehead decision. And he did take accountability for that. And I'm glad he did. And he has several times. And I'm good with Johnathan doing that. I have no problem with that. I'm glad he did, right? He was one of the only people taking accountability, really. So then he was like, you know, I would do it over again. And so Patricia's like, what, pick her up like that? And he was like, no, you know, apologize. He was like, no, I wouldn't, you know, violate her like that again. So then I think we switched gears and got on the whole foot fetish thing, how the man was into the feet. And so Jonathan's like, what you want to know, Nephew Tommy? I'll suck a big toe. I sucked them size 10 and size 13s. Mika's like, you was sucking size 10? She acted like she was into it, right? So then Patrice like, oh, that's a grown woman foot right there. And so you know, he said he was into all the feet thing. He likes the feet like that. We saw that. And then Nephew Tommy turned to Alonzo and he's like, what was that about? Because remember, Alonzo was sucking toes right there on camera at the brunch. So then Alonzo's like, oh, that right there, you know, I was real sauced, and you know, I really should not have done that. That was out of character for me. That was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I believe that was very much in character for you, Alonzo. And I believe you did what you felt like you wanted to do. Okay. But he tried to clean it up. I wasn't buying it. The lady, Nephew Tommy asked the ladies, if they like into the foot set second thing, and the foot fetish thing. And some of them are into, some of them aren't. Vanessa asked what made it a foot fetish. Nephew Tommy's like him sucking the toes. And so she was like, well, she do like her feet rubbed. They talk about Chaz like the woman in heels, and he rubs feet as well. I'm so over Chaz. I'm about to go in on Chaz when we get there. Okay. So anywho, they asked, okay, who got the prettiest feet here? Johnathan said Vanessa. Vanessa was like, okay, like, thank you, but don't pay into the feet. She's like, production, don't do her. Don't pay into them feet. But they didn't. I thought they were going to immediately go to the feet because the Ready to Love production play all day, but they didn't do it. So anyway, now in the confessional, Patrice was saying, she knew all that. She was right about all the men at the mixer. You was, girl. You was. Let's apologize to our girl Patrice. She was right. And she said, and a lot of the women did say that Lamar made them feel uncomfortable. And that's my thing. You could tell on screen that Lamar made them feel uncomfortable. And why didn't we hold him accountable for that? But we know Nephew Tommy doesn't hold people accountable. And I was mad watching the reunion, but now I'm over it about the whole accountability thing. Ain't no point in getting worked up if we not going to change after 9 seasons, right? So anywho, then Lamar said something about he gonna be himself in his confessional. Bye, Lamar. You'll find somebody that likes that, I guess. Okay, so then moving forward, we then had the package with Chaz. I think we did move on to the Chaz package at that point, right? So we had the Chaz. I think on stage we had Patrice, Laron. I mean, not Laron. Patrice, Vanessa, Meika, Chaz, Vanessa. Vanessa. It might have been somebody else. Alonzo. So anyway, so they showed Chaz's journey on the show and how he had so many connections. Nephew Tommy was like, Chaz, you had a lot of connections. Like, how do you think you handle that? So he's like, I thought I was making myself clear. I thought I was balancing it out, but I guess I wasn't. I don't understand. I generally liked all of the ladies in a different way. Please. And he's like, okay, we know you had a. Well, he first asked Patrice about her connection with Chaz, and so she said, she liked Chaz because he, wanted a wife. He prepared himself for a wife. How, Patrice? How? And she said, she want to be a wife, not a girlfriend. But she said, ultimately, your heart's going to go after what you want at the time. And so she stands by the decision she made. At the time, Patrice wanted to have a good time, not a long time. And she got the worst time with Alonzo. Okay. So anywho, then, he talks about Vanessa. You said Vanessa was one of your top connections here, and he asked Vanessa. So Vanessa was like, yeah. He, from the beginning kept saying I was his top of his top, but then as we went further along in the process, that kind of continued to change and be defined in a different way, right? And so he was like, I don't understand, like, this is what Chad said. I don't understand how, I can't make it any more clear for you. When I bought the ladies flowers, and I will buy you 2, and I would only buy you 1. Everybody laughing backstage because this is some bull. Chaz, that sounds stupid. That's why they laughing. That sounds stupid. And this is like the second or third time he said this on camera. And, truth is I'm tired. Okay. I'm tired. And options are few in Dallas, Fort Worth. Okay. Anywho, so, Chaz said he doesn't know how, he can make it more clear to Vanessa. So Chaz is like, no, Nephew Tommy said, well, ultimately, you decided to go in a different direction instead of Vanessa. I think he then brought up the whole dog thing, what was the issue with the dog? And so he said, Vanessa told me from the very beginning she could not like or love my dog Nala. And, I really love my dog Nala. And, if that's how she feels, then it's not going to ever work. And he's like, I asked her, would you ever be with a man or marry a man that couldn't love or like your children? And she was like, yeah. And when you said it to me, it was some bull and a mess because you're not going to compare the children that I pushed out of my body and have raised for 16 years to your dog. And you're not, Chaz. You're not. Now, Chaz, I know we overused the word gaslight, but he is a horrible gaslighter. A horrible gaslighter. I gotta watch the time, y'all. He is a horrible gaslighter, and I just can't take it. Like, I just can't take it. I feel bad that I ever liked Chaz at the beginning. Like, ugh, I'm disgusted with myself at this point. Disgusted. Okay, disgusted. Ugh. Then Nephew Tommy brings up the whole petrified flower thing, and so he was like, what was that about? So Vanessa was like, I'm not gonna say it was nasty, but it was definitely disrespectful for sure. It's weird, whatever. It was nasty, girl. I was going to say what it was. It was nasty. And so Chaz was like, I'm a creative person and I like to express myself in different ways. And, putting a dead flower in the water, to me, that's not doing a lot. That's being creative. And so Vanessa was like, it didn't land the way you thought it was going to land, sir. And she said, then you're going to have the nerve to say that, like, I'm not deserving of love, or I'm not capable of love, or I can't be loved. Like, you can't say that about me. He's like, first of all, don't say that. You're not going to put words in my mouth and da-da-da. And I'm like, please be quiet, sir. So Nephew Tommy asked the ladies about, like, how would you feel about the petrified flower? And then what's her name? Rashina said, yeah, I definitely feel like, you taking shots. And that's exactly what it was. It was ugly. It was ugly and nasty. And now Alonzo gonna fix his mouth to say, oh, I think that's just the way he expresses himself. Like, I didn't think nothing of it. Be quiet, Alonzo. And let me back up because I missed the part where they were talking about the whole thing with Chaz leaving the house. So Chaz said he was looking for just a moment to himself, and I guess production kept following him around. So he said they kept following me around. I'm assuming it's production and not the ladies. Or maybe it was the ladies, but I'm assuming it was production because they wasn't even knowing what he was doing. So, and so then that's why he said, okay, I'm gonna leave. And so he said he didn't like the text that Vanessa sent to him because she said, okay, if you were going to leave the house like this, then we could have kept William on and not voted you off. And so William backstage was like, well, how did I get in it? And so Chaz felt like that was rude. And Vanessa's thing is like, you left and you barely said anything to me, Patrice, and Rashina. And we could have kept somebody here that really wanted to be here. I don't see nothing wrong with what she said. Okay. And side note, William, you caught strays all through this reunion last week and this week. You was catching strays for no reason. April talking bad about you. They talking about the stupid alliance. You catching strays for no reason. Y'all did William wrong. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, they talked about that. And so Rashina's thing is like, my thing is you didn't even say nothing. You just left the house. You didn't give an explanation. I know what you was doing, where you was going, what was going on. Patrice said she couldn't even get through to the room until she said, okay, let me pray for you. That's how she got in through. She sent the prayer through. That's how she got in the room. Because prayer changes things, right? So that's how she did it. So anyway, fast forward back to the end of the conversation with the petrified flower. That wasn't hitting the way Chaz thought it was hitting, right? And so I think Nephew Tommy's like, okay, Chaz, you didn't choose Vanessa. Like, where are you now? And so he said he's engaged to get married. So Nephew Tommy's like, wait a minute. He's doing the math in his head. And so everybody's like, wait, it's only been 3 months. But everybody backstage is like, what? And so he's like, yeah. He's like, okay, did you just meet this person? Because it's not making sense. And it's not. So he said he already knew this person before. They had been previously dating. He didn't say they were dating at the time of the show, but obviously they had to be, right? And so he said, yeah, she was comfortable with me going through the process. I went through the process, and then I got to the end of the process. I said, why not? I said, because you was planning to marry her the whole time. So what you come on the show for? And this is where I really, really, really got mad with Chaz, because you really played in our face. So what was the point of Chaz coming on this show if you already had somebody you're about to marry? And I really needed Ready to Love, Nephew Tommy, and the own people, and Will Packer himself to get Chaz together and hold him accountable the way them Love is Blind people did them people for coming on their show and playing. We need to hold Chaz accountable for coming on this show and playing, but of course we didn't. Of course we didn't. And I added the own people when I tweeted about this. I sure did, because this is a waste of time, right? It's a waste of time. I mean, I'm still gonna watch the show. It's still entertaining, whatever. But I just didn't like that. Like, there was no accountability, because what did you come on the show for, Chaz? Because you was gonna marry her the whole time. You can't tell me nothing different. Okay. And Vanessa said in the confessional, he said he had 11 women. And she's like, he told my sister he was connecting with the 11 other women She said, it must have been the one not on the show. Okay. And Nephew Tommy asked, did any of the women know about her? None of them knew. That's a mess. That's a mess. Anyway, and then Patrice said in the confessional that Alonzo over there agreeing with Chaz. She said they both clowns. Girl. And you was gonna choose either one of them. Okay. Anyway. Then we get to I think the Laron package with Maya and Kosheia. And then we get to alliances. So let's talk about Maya, Laron, and Kosheia. So they play that whole package. So Nephew Tommy says, Laron, you had a connection with a pretty strong connection with Kosheia from the beginning. He's like, I wouldn't necessarily say it like that, but yeah, we did connect. And he's like, why you didn't try to keep in contact with her after the show? So he's like, well, I didn't leave the show after she wanted me to, self-eliminate, and I tried to, connect with her, but she kept ignoring me, so I ain't gonna keep going after her. And so Kosheia was like, no, he turning, he ain't telling the story right. So LeBron was like, oh, yeah, she knows what she was doing. She was up there, dating other guys, smiling at other guys' faces and dating other people. So every time he's like, well, that's part of the show. That's the process. Like, what you talking about? And so he was like, no, she know what else she was doing. He said that she was dating Chaz. She was on Hinge and she was dating the chef. I was like, was it the chef in one of them houses at the pajama party? So anyway, Chaz said he didn't date her, and Kosheia said she never dated Chaz as well. Now I don't know if she's down to the Hinge or not, whatever. Anyway, Laron, you ain't nobody, so so Kosheia was like, no, the thing with Laron is the way that he was smiling and playing her in her face at the pajama party, and then try to make it like she can't be talking to anybody and getting on her from smiling in other people's faces. Meanwhile, he over there laughing and he high with Maya all in her face. She didn't say that like that, but that's basically what she meant, right? So that was the point where she knew like that was not gonna work for her and LeBron. He is basically crossing boundaries with her and not respecting her in the way that she should be respected. And I said, good for you, Kosheia. Good for you, girl. Then they talked about the whole Maya thing, and Maya didn't say nothing really in this scene, nothing at all. I thought that was weird. So Laron talked about after him and Maya didn't work out, he went back to the streets for a couple weeks. He was sick. Then he reached out to Maya. He didn't think she would call back, but she did, and they just, Maya, I think at some point said she gave him another chance at the end of the show, but they're not together no more. And I think he took her pictures down. He sent me He sent me some screenshots, as I've told y'all, that painted the narrative of whatever they had going on, but they ain't work out, y'all. Okay. And it really didn't make him look better. And the fact that you send in screenshots of you and this woman's business is pretty low, in my opinion. Anyway, and then we get the whole, alliance situation. So we got Will on stage, William, Laron, I want to say Maya, Kosheia, So Will, explains, well, Nephew Tommy's asking about this text messages and alliances. Laron and Will go back and forth. Will said he didn't have no alliance going on. He said he only had one connection on the show. Kosheia's thing is like, I don't mind if he had a connection with Alexis, that's fine. You want to talk to me, with your talk about me with your connection, that's fine. But when Alexis is spreading lies about me to Will, that's when she had a problem, right? So Will said, he's saying he didn't say none of the stuff that Laron is alleging that was said. And he was like, I don't even talk to you. How would you have the messages? He was like, yeah, dude, you know better not talk to me. So let me back up too. So the way the conversation started, Nephew Tommy asked about this text message thing. And so Dominique said the text message started off innocent. It was just a group text. So it basically was an extension of the men's lounge for them making decisions. So Nephew Tommy said, now I already told y'all whatever happens in the men's lounge doesn't leave the men's lounge, but go on. So then he said, but then it kind of did turn into something else. It was like the men were using the opportunity to like kind of talk to the ladies and, kind of say like, figure out where they stood and try to protect them in the process, whatever they was trying to do. It was stupid. So anyway, so kind of escalated from being something innocent, as Dominique said. So then, Will, like I said, Will and LaRon were going back and forth. So Will's like, I didn't say that. I didn't say that, because LaRon is talking about what Will said. So LaRon pulled out the text messages. He told Nephew Tommy to read it. And Nephew Tommy's like, I'm reading all night. Yeah, I'll read it. So he read it. LaRon said Kosheia. I forgot what all he said. I can't remember, but he called her something out her name, F and B or something like that. And we got to get rid of her. And man, we got to play the game, because you know how the game goes. And Meika and Kosheia want to get rid of the Flyers guys here, and they threatened by us and all this blah blah blah. I was like, Will, I know you said all that. Please go away. And they're like, it's in the text messages, Will, because he's deny. And so, we'll try to ask William, like, what you think of this, bro? He's like, I don't want to be in it. I don't think William ever wanted to be in it like that. I don't think he had those kind of intentions, right? He kind of got through under the bus. Now, my thing with Laron is, Laron, you are as big a snake as Will, okay? Snake meet snake. Will, Alexis, and Laron. A lot of snakes on this cast, okay? So, everybody's going back and forth, and every time he said, look, I'm glad y'all brought it up, because let me tell you something right now. When you do this, you're trying to manipulate the process, you're trying to form these alliances, you mess up other people's chance of finding love, and you ruin the process for everybody else. The point of the show is to come on love. Nephew Tommy's like, I just want y'all to come on here and find love. That's the point. But when you doing all this and you playing all these games, you messing up the process for other people and getting them removed from the show. They may not needed to be removed from the show yet. And he said, all the other casts are ready to love. They have tight bonds because they went through this process genuinely together. And he said, I hope y'all, I come back through Dallas area, y'all group text is better than this. Like, y'all got to get together. And it kind of reminded me of the Married at First Sight reunion. Now, if you didn't watch part 1 of the Married at First Sight reunion review, I did watch this video all the way through and then go back and watch that. I did that video Wednesday night. And they also had a scheme and a plot set up by Todd. So kind of reminded me of that in this moment, right? Not as extreme, I think. But Nephew Tommy, my thing is they got alliances every episode, every season. I mean, I think it was just more put out there this season, right? So anyway, Nephew Tommy was over it at this point. He was over it. And so April said, the thing is, you guys are talking about this is a game. That was the word using the text. And she said, I didn't come on here to play no games. I believe April didn't come on there to play games. There were several people who didn't and several people who did, right? And so Will's like, oh, no, I didn't mean gaming like that. She's like, it was in the text. And he's like, well, you took, out the context of the text message, whatever. He's like, I mean, it's like the Hunger Games. And so I think he might have, Nephew Tommy asked Meika something or asked the lady something. And so anyway, in the end, Will did apologize and said he could take accountability for the group text. And, maybe he could have handled the situation differently and just moved accordingly with his one connection. Now, in the confessional, he said he don't know how it could be collusion going on because he only had one connection and colluding against 2 ladies. It could still be collusion, Will. Okay. You definitely had a bone to pick with Kosheia and Meika. You definitely did. They were trying to get rid of Kosheia, Meika, and April. Now, do I think those ladies, I still stand by what I said, even though we know there was a bunch of foolishness going on, that it was time for April, Kosheia, to go. Well, Meika made it to the end, surprisingly. I did not expect Meika and Justin to make it to the end, let me be honest with you. But they did. Now, when April left, it was her time to go. And when Kosheia left, it was her time to go. Okay. I still believe that and stand by that. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think, they shouldn't have been eliminated when they were? Let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, then we do get to Nephew Tommy is so happy to get to Justin and Meika's package. And, they're going good. They've said the L word. And Meika said his dog likes her. And Nephew Tommy's like, I'm hearing dogs are a big deal. And Justin has spoke with her kids on FaceTime, spoke with her daughter. Justin said they're just going to go at their own pace, take things slow. And they, like I said, they said they love each other. They're having a good time. Nephew Tommy did bring up the issue with kids, which I was like, thank you, Nephew Tommy. And so Meika said, she still does not want to have kids. And I was like, see, we've been saying this all season. And Justin said that's still not a deal breaker for him. He doesn't want to let go of something good. That's 90% good, but only 10% not working out with the kids thing. I feel like it's more than 10% with kids. So if you really want to have biological kids on your own, but maybe, if they really work out, maybe you should be willing to have one. Word on the street is she got her tubes tied, so I don't know. I don't know that lady's body like that, but we'll see. I like them. They're cute. They're our only little ray of hope this season. So they are cute. They do look like they have a genuine connection, right? I don't know how long it will last. But I see the chemistry and the spark. They look like they look like they have a lot of fun together. And I can't be mad at that. I like it. So anyway, Nephew Tommy asked, did he give Meika a key? He's all, no, I don't want to go through what they going through. Justin, you a fool. He joking about Alonzo and Patrice. So anyway, he asked Meika, does he have the key to your heart? And she said yes. All right. So then, they go backstage. I think Laron and Will exchange some words about Will going up to Laron in public, trying to big up him, and he paid him dust or something. And I was like, y'all need to let it go. The ladies are like, nah, move on, because they was getting arguing and all that. Somebody said they're going to take out their mainstay, telling them security. Anyway, they ain't about to do nothing, y'all. So Nephew Tommy was like, I'm proud of y'all. Y'all did good. He was like, yeah, I needed that. He cursed. He was like, oh, finally. He was like, thank you. This is what we came here for, Dallas. This is what we found love. This is the point, ready to love. He was like, thank God. We got a couple. Okay, every time he was going through it. Okay, you better call Will Packer and tell him to get the show together. Change the format, Tommy. Anyway, talk to Will Packer. So, let me see how much time I got. All right. So anyway, then after that, I think we wrap up. Nephew Tommy just checks in on everybody. Glenn, you did good with your dates. You still here. He's proud of Glenn for sticking it through. Glenn, come finally go home. Thank you, God. Like I said, Justin and Meika said they're gonna take the process slow. Lamar said he'll finally find somebody out there for him. William said, I feel like they could have gave William more time to talk because he had quite a bit going on this season. I mean, not as much as other people, but he had a little something. He made it to the getaway. So anyway, William said he's kind of restarting and he's gonna be going on a fair date. He's looking out at Patrice. And so what Nephew Tom's like, oh yeah, Patrice has something going on. He's like, yeah, we've been cool since the brunch. So Patrice is like, yeah, he owes me a fair date. I was like, Patrice, you should have went with William all along because y'all both have kids. It just makes more sense. Like she said, she could be driving him around in the Sprinter for the comedy tour. So it makes more sense anyway. Alonzo was sitting there making faces. Nephew Tommy said, Alonzo, your face is doing quite a bit. So he was like, oh, I'm just happy. Alonzo, he was making a bunch of faces, y'all. So anyway, I think they also checked on, Maya, Laron. Maya said she gave him another chance. We're going to see where it goes. It didn't go nowhere. He asked Laron, did he want to say anything in that moment? He's like, no, I want to be all soft up here with y'all. And every time he's like, we family. They not family, Tommy. But he didn't want to be soft in front of y'all. Girl, that's another red flag. If he can't say what he feel in front of people about you, then that ain't it, girl. But anyway, Maya knew better. Maya was trying to get into the VIP, okay? That's what she was doing with Laron. Okay, that's exactly what she was doing with Laron. That's why she gave him another chance is to go in the VIP and go on a Carnival cruise. Okay, and I could prove that. Anyway, moving on. He asked Vanessa what's next for her. She says she's going to continue to connect with Dominique. They've been connecting. They've been solid. And then Tommy's like, y'all don't be telling me stuff like y'all been connecting. Dominique was like, yeah, she's dope. She's good. We continuing to connect. They showed Chaz's face. He made a little face. Every time I was like, y'all didn't tell me this. And so she was like, yeah, we've been dating the whole time. I said, since when? But, she did say that was one of her other connections. I wish they would have showed it on the show. But, now does Vanessa want to have more kids? Because Dominique won a whole basketball team. So I don't know how that's going to work. But anywho. I think that was pretty much the end of the reunion, y'all. That was all we got. Let me know what y'all thought of the reunion. If I missed something, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I guess we'll be back here next Friday for Never Ever Mets. I was hoping we'd get a little week off, but we not. But anyway, y'all. But yeah, stay tuned for more coming to the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will talk to y'all again very soon. Bye.